Hello, everyone. I'm just giving us a few minutes to pop in, like I always say. There's not a lot to talk about, but there is. Oh my gosh. So, mm, I watched this episode. I waited because it was the finale, so I didn't want to watch it too far ahead, but I watched it last night. And the whole time I'm watching it, hello everyone. I'll share my thoughts in a minute. I just want to say hi to everyone first. Hi, Catherine and Rona and Curry. And we haven't given anything away. Avis, I don't know if you're still here. Look, she was sharing with us what happened. It was good, but I have to say, you might not want to stay. You might not want to miss, we're going to have a spoiler for you here, and it's a pretty big one. Um, Okay, so the entire time I'm watching this episode, I'm like, wow, they're really wrapping things up. And I thought that they were wrapping it up so that if we did not get a season three, it would be fine. But you know that narrator, how she starts with, I kept rolling in my head how she started with her story and then she threads it through. And when she finishes, I was like, something foreboding. I could feel it because everything was just so perfect and happy. And yes, we're just going to skip right to the end. Wow. Wow. So I was like, okay, until it got to the very end and what happened, Frank Jr. falls from the ladder and it looks like he's seriously injured or possibly dead, but he has his hand move a little and then it stops. I'm thinking to myself, well, now we have to have a season three or Hallmark's going to be in my poo poo doo doo hoodoo list. They're going to have a repeat of Mystery 101 where they left us hanging. This is grape juice, by the way. So, anyway, what do you all think? You think there's this? What do you think? You think here's what I was thinking. He's Frank Jr. Frank is just so happy and doing so well. And if we do get a season three, maybe it will be, him paralyzed and I don't know, grumpy and mean again because he's so upset by it all. Will he have a setback? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where they would go with this, but I love when she says something about that chapter wasn't written and she being the narrator. Rona says it looks like we're gonna get a season three. We better. Rona, I'm looking at your profile picture. It's a baseball field. Carrie, Frank Jr. finally grows up and then falls from a tree. Not fair. I know, no fair. You know what else? I caught this and I'm not quite sure how I thought this was going. He was very receptive and accepting of Sergio and Amanda, and he apologized to Amanda, and she did to him. I loved all the group hugs that were in this episode, and I loved at the end where Frankie's going off. Oh, my battery! Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm going to do something that's not very professional, but we don't care because it's late at night. Hold on. I'm back. All right, so um she's going off to New York and she's going to be living with Lindsay. And they do a group hug, mom, dad, and daughter, which I love. It's just sweet. And really enjoyed that Frank Jr. was able to have such a good relationship with Amanda, right? You think he's going to be paralyzed. Okay. Um, now that I got distracted, what was I going to say? I have so many thoughts in my head. Oh, she starts to talk. Amanda talks to him about him going on a date. And he's like, it's a meeting of the minds. And he's like, yeah, it's a date. And he goes, who told you? And she's like, Shauna. Was the date with Shauna? Or was Shauna just passing along the gossip? Tell me, wouldn't that be a pairing? Because do you remember when he was mad at everybody right after church and they were all sitting around, I guess, having, like coffee or whatever. And he goes, I never needed you. And I don't need you. And I don't need you. And I never needed you. And he says that to Shauna. I think that those two, if they were going to date, would be kind of comical. So Linda thinks he's going to be paralyzed. Okay. Do you think him being paralyzed would make him mean and miserable again? No? I hope not. I hope we see growth. I don't know. It's gonna. His mother's gonna feel really bad and guilty. She's never been anywhere. Neither of the girls are on their way to Italy, or or was it Italy? And I'm laughing because Gus is saying all the words wrong. And I guess they're going to Europe. At least we know they're going to Europe. Okay, prediction. Who's running for mayor? Nancy. Right? We predicted that. Frankie's off to be with Lindsay. So they wrapped everything up. The wedding was beautiful, and May wears her mom's, special dress, which I loved. I loved how her hair looked, dancing, and I mean everything was just so wrapped up in a neat bow. And I was like, okay, then maybe they're setting this up so we don't have to worry about season 3. And then kabam, we get that. I don't know. So even at the end, they showed like flashbacks of this season. And I was like, where is this going? So besides Linda, you thinking him being paralyzed, anyone else? He's not leaving the show. He's like the star of the show. Who's agreeing with Linda about him being paralyzed? I don't know. What does that mean? I mean, I know what that means. I sound like, did you hear the running joke with Kevin McGarry where he said the line is in the episode where they find out that little Jack has diabetes, and he says, what does it mean? Or what does that mean? He said it made him sound so dumb they couldn't do it. Like they were laughing and they had to try to change the dialogue. And that's all I can think of today was, what does that mean? What does that mean? He fell from the tree. Is he dead? The narrator said something like, about embracing, the possibility of joy. And then she said, let yourself feel joy today because you don't know what the road ahead is paved with. Ain't that the truth? We all felt that. We've all felt that, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't hear from any of you either. I don't know where you think it's going. Just Linda saying it's going to be paralyzed. I know. And Rona thinks that it's going to be a setup of season 3. All right. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have too much to say about the episode, that other than I really did enjoy that Gus was not so upset that Mimi's was torn to bits. And I kind of, we got that reaction. I think I showed her face, May's face. Oh my gosh, we knew in our hearts that that's what it was. It was blown down because it was like barely holding up. And I loved that when when Gus was talking, they were kind of doing their little memorial to holding the flowers together, and then they do their group hug, all the girls, and where Gus was saying that even though it was a mess and it left on her shoulders far too young she was, it allowed her to have independence and not have to worry about someone else's checkbook being paying for her bills and ruling her life. It allowed for her to have freedom, but it also was freeing that she no longer had it. And I thought that was good. They don't let things drag on in this series, which I appreciate. I appreciate that a lot. Catherine, you said, I hope there's a season 3. There are many possibilities for the characters. So many. What about Shauna? I love how you turn around. Every time we turn around, Shauna's got another talent. She wrote a spicy book that made Amanda blush. And she's like, oh, I like that. So now Amanda's got her little book that was not little, it was big. She had it all worked out. Well, actually, that was the like the manuscript for the picture book. I thought that was cute. And again, it was all the possibilities of all of those storylines, but they were happy. It was all happy. Even Mr. Cluck in the Bucket, whatever his real name is, even him, he got rid of him by saying, he would sue. And I thought that was great. He went on his merry way. Who knows? They could all return. Things could change. But again, I was like, where is this going? And then boom, we've got that kind of an ending. Yeah, that's all I got, folks. That take us long at all. What have we been here for 5 minutes? What time is it? Oh, geez, we haven't even been here for 10. What else can we say about this episode other than what we've just said, right? Oh, um, I don't know if Ava stayed. I hope she didn't because we just gave it away for her. What is it that if it does come back, and I'm not saying like gloom and doom, we always have this feeling at the end of something. But if it does come back, what is it that we would like to see? I know that I like that um Frank Jr. had so much growth. I like that. And that there's a kindness to him. And I don't want him to die off, but if he is paralyzed and he has like a grumpiness about him or some meanness comes back a little bit because, that happens a lot. People fall into a depression when something like that happens. I don't want it to be that it goes on and on and on again. That means like he died, like he goes backwards. I don't like that. Just like, in storylines, and I know they're realistic, but they beat it to death. When there's a storyline, especially when I was watching my soaps years ago, and someone had a substance abuse, like alcoholism was very popular in the soap operas back in the 80s and 90s as an issue that just kept coming up every time you turn around, and storylines kept repeating themselves. I don't want that to happen with this. That's right. You're right. That's what it said. That's what the narrator said. I reached out to the narrator's peeps and I was like, is she available for a chat? And they said, no, not now, but thanks, for asking, maybe in the future, which was just a kind way of saying no. Catherine says, I would like to see the town grow with a new mayor. Well, I definitely am excited. I hope Nancy wins being mayor. And I hope that Bo comes back and, he sees Nancy in a new light. I really hope that they could pick up that relationship again. I like them together. I hope he's not gone forever. And it was really fun to see that when they opened up the door, there was a whole line of people that were coming because it took a while for the kitchen, what was it called? Kitchen clash. It took them a while for the word to get out and people were coming in. So we know, even though Mimi's was demolished, it's not like Franny's is going under. Everything is looking up. So there could be fun storylines there. But I also think that the two girls in New York, that storyline is going to take off because I always feel like there's more than friendship between the girls. I mean, even Crester and whatever, Sabrina? No, what is that her name? What's her name? I always forget that character's name. They kind of have like a little thing going on. So again, they tied everything up in a neat bow and then boom, we got that. And I was like, what else? I would also like to see, I think, is it really the end of the story with Gus and her husbands? Like, are they ever going to, well, not her husband, she had the one husband, but the father of her children. Do you think we'll get more of that or they'll just go in a totally different direction? And I love how they're not totally softening up Gus. Like she's like, with her face of when Frank Jr.'s all sloppy hugging with her too, I don't know. I just think it's funny. All right. Well, that is it, folks. We've got like 15 minutes of this was the shortest one ever, especially for a finale, right? Usually we got big things to talk about, but there was just that one big, oh my gosh, kind of thing. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's see what's coming up next. We got a weird schedule coming up, weird in a good way, coming up for Countdown to Christmas. So for series, like this is one of their series and it's over for this year, but Mistletoe Murders is another series. And if you haven't watched it, they're going to be showing, is it Monday nights or Sunday nights? Sunday nights. They're going to be showing the first 6 episodes and then they'll roll into season 2, which it's really good. Peter Mooney and Sarah Drew star in it and it's different. and I liked it. I especially love those two together. They're a really good combo. So we have that series to look forward to, and I hope if you haven't seen it, you watch it. It was on Hallmark Plus, and now it's going to start. Yes, it does. It starts the 17th, and then season 2 starts November 7th, I believe it is. So it's going to be good. Um, is it Friday nights? Yeah, there's something special on Monday nights. I did a video about, like, a little chat about it. There's something special on Monday nights, and yeah, I think you're correct, Friday nights. And of course, Saturday night is the special. Eventually it'll be the Christmas movie. Right now it's still the fall. They're still into the fall. Is that when it is, Carrie? It could be, because they also have a cookie challenge, like a bake challenge rather, and they also have Finding Mr. Christmas, and they put those two. They're an hour each back to back. Is that Monday nights? And then Friday nights is this one? That makes sense. It was in my other video, but there's like so many dates and things flowing in my head. I always get them confused. Sorry. All right. That's it. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm tired. I'm sure you're tired. And let's hope that we hear some stuff about, yes, you're right, Yvonne. They're the ones that are on Monday night, right? The Mr. Christmas and the cookie, right? So let's hope that we get some news about season 3 for Chicken Sisters. And if you have not watched The Way Home and are interested in it and are not interested in Hallmark Plus, but are interested, because that's where you can see all of the 3 seasons. But you do have Netflix that is coming on October the 1st. So we're about, I think, 10 Hallmark movies. They did something like that last season too, but this season is 10 more Hallmark movies, and the Way Home, which is a phenomenal series. Oh my God, exceptionally written and acted. Keeps you on your toes. All right, I'm done. Good night. Good night, all. Have a good week. Bye.